radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Good evening. All right. Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. Yeah. Today's Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. 125 days into the new year, only 240 days left. May the 4th be with you. We are live from a bunker somewhere in the middle of beautiful, middle of nowhere. That's right. A total undisclosed location. I'll keep saying it though. It's beautiful. It truly is the new bunker. All right. I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for hither and thither. I'm watching YouTube. You guys are crazy, man. It throws me off. I just want to sit here and read the comments all night long. We need to do another AMA. We need to do another AMA. For KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the Planet, I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? How you doing? Tomorrow is Revenge of the 5th. That's the third time I've heard that today, Jimmy. I'm not sure what that means. Okay, I've got to get... that's it. I'll be back lurking in YouTube later. It's just... YouTube... Between YouTube and the sandbox, it's just entertainment around here for me. All right. I'm going to start off the show with this. It's the second time this week. Second time in a week that I've had to do this. But today I was absolutely stunned to find out about the passing of an old friend of mine, Dan Hicks. And Dan was funny. He was smart. He was cool. He was a master musician. And I knew Dan for more than 30 years. We toured across the country together. I was the tour manager, and Dan was the guitar tech for Dave Marshall. We were touring with a brunette. We were out there for a while, and Dan and I just became very, very close friends on that tour. And the funny thing about it, I mean, it's just a very sad day. It's a very sad day for me. And the show must go on. But after Fade to Black started and got off the ground and things were starting to take off, I got this email one day. You know, is this the Jimmy Church? I was like, what? I'm reading the email. And it's from Dan Hicks. And I hadn't seen or heard from Dan in like at that time over 20 years. And he's a fan of the show. And the crazy part about it, this is how small the world is and can be. Everybody knows Christopher O'Brien, and a great researcher, and he's been on Fade to Black a couple of times, and really cool guy and a good friend. And but anyway, so Dan and I start talking, and I find out he's a fan of the show, and he's a fan of the show because his band that he was in also featured Chris O'Brien. Was in this band with him, Black Raven. So, he sends me the CDs, he sends me their new stuff, and he's a fan of Fade to Black, but, he's part of the UFO community, too, as well. Just a small world, right? And then it was probably a year after that, Chris and I were able to sit down at a conference and just trade Dan Hicks stories, and we were just laughing forever. Dan was just such a cool dude, and it was just one of those things, it's just a small world, and he left this earth yesterday, and it's crazy. Well, some of the last conversations that we had were the classic conversations. We got to get together. We've got to have a dinner. We've got to have drinks. Let's talk about old times and memories and UFOs, and we never got a chance to do it. So, wow, unbelievable. Okay, so tonight this show is dedicated to Dan Hicks. Dan, rest in peace, my brother. All right, tonight's a very special show because we have Billy Carson is here, and we've got a lot to discuss with Billy tonight. We've got a couple of big announcements that we're going to do right here on the show that you're not going to expect, and I'm very excited about this. So tonight, Billy Carson is here. Tomorrow night, Tim McMillan from the Debrief and Germany, by the way, will be with us. And then Thursday night, Linda Moulton Howe joins us. And what a great week. I got a lump in my throat, everybody, so just deal with it. It'll pass. It'll pass. That's what hot coffee's for, right? All right. I'll be at UFO MegaCon this June 6th through the 12th. So will Billy Carson, and Billy will be with us at the bottom of the hour. It is a huge lineup. It's live. It's in person. Great lineup. I will be hosting 2 panels that week. I will also go out and do a sky watch with all of you, and I think that's going down on Friday night. And so there you go. I want everybody to head over to jimmychurchradio.com. It's right there, UFO MegaCon. Click on the link and go over and get your tickets. It's in Laughlin, Nevada, 1 week, 7 days, June 6th through the 12th. I'll see everybody there. And the good news is the state of Nevada lifted all the restrictions, and we're able to pack the room. Okay, so go and get your tickets now. All right, follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. You can do that. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Crazy stuff been going down in this UFO community over the last week, over the last few weeks, over the last year, and more stuff is up on Twitter, and I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. All right, hashtag F2B is the sandbox. Let's get to the breaking news. This is trippy. I don't know if everybody caught this. Conan, as in Conan O'Brien, that show, Conan, on TBS, will end its run next month on June 24th. TBS announced all of this yesterday. The conclusion of the show will end with a host's nearly 30-year run on late-night television. TBS said that the hour-long finale will take a look back at the last 11 years of this particular iteration of O'Brien's lengthy late-night career. After the show ends next month, though, Conan will host a new weekly variety series for HBO Max. So he's not completely leaving, but that's it. That's it. Conan. That's crazy. That's crazy. 30 years. Wow. Here's a conspiracy theory waiting to happen. The suspect who was shot and wounded in a standoff just outside of the CIA headquarters in McLean, Virginia yesterday, has died. The suspect, whose name has not been released, died after being transported to a hospital. The FBI announced all of this in a statement today. The suspect initially drove up to the CIA's gates yesterday and made statements suggesting that there was a bomb in their vehicle. Standoff, shot, and killed. No identity. I'll just leave that right there. All right. Well, an elusive spider. This is a crazy story. I have to share this with you. An elusive spider related to the tarantula just joined the ranks of recognized spiders. That's right, because it got a name. And I'm telling you, it's about this big, black, a little purple, good-looking spider, solid. Looks like a little mini tarantula. It's about this big. The new name is the pine rockland trapdoor spider, and it lives in the Florida Everglades, and it's a rare breed. It has only been spotted a handful of times since the 1920s, and females of this species have yet to be found. But finally, it gets a name for the habitat it lives in. And that's a very cool story. I just had to share it. You need to go look at the pine rockland trapdoor spider. Go check him out. It's a dude, by the way. No photographs of any females. There you go. Let's get the show cracking. Happy birthday to today, Will Arnett. Will Arnett today is 51. Best. I'm going Hot Rod. Let's Go to Prison was pretty epic. I'm going Hot Rod, but Let's Go to Prison. And, of course, his run on Arrested Development. And Arrested Development I caught way after the hoopla. And I went and took like a month and binged like 10 years of that show. But pretty funny stuff. Will is just incredible in that. Green Day bassist Mike Dirnt today is only 49 years old. Mick Mars. Are you ready? Mick Mars, Motley Crue, today is 70 years old. Randy Travis today is 62. And jazz great Ron Carter, one of the greatest bassists in history, if not the greatest, today is 84 years old. His 2,221 recording sessions make him the most recorded jazz bassist in history. I was thinking about Randy Travis today. I was in New York. This is a true story. I'm in New York. I am with, I'm walking down the street with Omar Hakim, the drummer, right? And Omar and I are eating and goofing around like we always did in New York. And I'm walking up the street, and this limousine pulls up next to us for no reason, right? And we're just like, well, we stop walking. The door opens, and it's Randy Travis, right? He gets out, and he starts walking in front of us, and he's on a cell phone. And so Omar and I follow Randy Travis for like 2 or 3 blocks. And it's a true story. And like 2 or 3 blocks later, in a straight line, the limousine pulls back up and he gets back in and drives away. It's like, what was that? Our dead guy's birthday today is Dick Dale. 1937 to 2019, died at the age of 81. There's no question about it. Dick was the pioneer of surf music, drawing on Middle Eastern music scales and experimenting with reverb. Oh, man, the best. Dale was known as, well, the king of the surf guitar, which was also the title of his second studio album. As we all know, Miserlou was used by Quentin Tarantino in Pulp Fiction, and all of this led to the return of Dick in the 1990s with 4 new albums and a bunch of world tours. Dick died in Loma Linda, California on March 16, 2019 at the age of 81, and that was a life well lived. On this day in history, OTD, 1970, in Kent, Ohio, 28 National Guardsmen fire their weapons 60 shots at a group of anti-war demonstrators on the Kent State University campus, killing 4 students, wounding 8, and permanently paralyzing another. Tragic day in America, 1970. Fader fact. All right. One of the most important mathematical books ever written, the Principia Mathematica, needed 360 pages to prove that 1 + 1 = 2. And that is your Fader fact. Tonight, very special guest. Excited. Billy Carson is back. We've got lots to talk about tonight. We've got a couple of very cool, special, and exclusive special announcements going down tonight. Tomorrow night, Tim McMillan of The Debrief is here. First-time guest. Looking forward to this conversation, especially with everything that is going down right now. And Tim is right in the middle of all of it. So that's going to be going down tomorrow. And then Thursday, of course, Linda Moulton Howe joins us for all of the breaking news over at Earth Files and everything else that's been going down over the last few weeks. It's been a crazy time in the world of UFOs. Right now, let me hit this River Moon coffee. Rivermoonwellness.com. Fade to Black blend. All right. Promo code F2B blend. And you can also, that's 15% off of your order. And when you go visit River Moon Wellness, you've got all of that Black Moon, really cool product that we've got over there. Check that out too as well. Both of our blends, Game Changer blend, Fade to Black blend, best coffee in the world. No question about it. All right. Well, so, man. Let me get this coffee again. After a pretty fun weekend in and around the UFO community and the big UFO Friday, yesterday on May 3rd, we sort of got UFO Monday. And I referenced this yesterday on the show. We need a UFO Monday. Well, we kind of got it yesterday. And that is because the DOD Inspector General announced that their office is going to do an evaluation. And I'm quoting here from the statement, quote, "The objective of this evaluation is to determine the extent to which the DOD, Department of Defense, has taken actions regarding unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP." End quote. So the question is an obvious one. What the heck does this mean? Here is the entire verbiage lifted directly from the DOD IG official.gov page. Quote, "Project announcement. Evaluation of the DOD's actions regarding the unidentified aerial phenomena. Project number D2021 DEV 0SN0116.000. Evaluation. We plan to begin the subject evaluation in May 2021. That is now. The objective of this evaluation is to determine the extent to which the DOD has taken actions regarding unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP. We may revise the objective as the evaluation proceeds, and we will consider suggestions from the management for additional or revised objectives. We will perform the evaluation at the offices of the Secretary of Defense, Military Services, Combatant Commands, Combat Support Agencies, Defense Agencies, and the Military Criminal Investigative Organizations. We may identify additional locations during the evaluation. Now, what can we extrapolate from this very short and to-the-point memo? Well, first, and very much out front, is this. The evaluation will happen now this month in May, in advance, of course, of the UAP Task Force report due to the Senate Intelligence Committee next month in June. Now, the actual PDF of the memo, which I posted today in social media, you can go and check it out, had this very interesting third paragraph that wasn't part of the above statement on their site. And I'll read it for you now. Quote, please provide us with a point of contact for the evaluation within 5 days of the date of this memorandum. The point of contact should be a government employee or military service member, a GS-15, pay band equivalent, or the military equivalent. Send the contact's name, title, pay, grade, band, phone number, and email address to, and that is redacted. So apparently the DOD Inspector General is not playing around. The memo is signed by Randolph R. Stone, Assistant Inspector General for Evaluations, Space, Intelligence, Engineering, and Oversight. Intense? Absolutely. But what is it that they want answers for? Well, the second line of the memo reads, the objective, quote, the objective of this evaluation is to determine the extent to which the DOD has taken actions regarding unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, end quote. So I guess, taken in totality, and how the military usually deals with things, my guess is that the IG wants to know why we haven't shot at anything, right? And why we are apparently just letting these pesky UAPs just do their thing. Or even crazier, did any of our military try to shoot at them, target them, with no effect? Right? Now, the third possibility is that the UAPs are ours. And the IG wants to know which branch of the military is flying drones without informing anyone about the activity. Right? Quote, oh, before I get to that, there's another part of this memo to consider. And it, to me, it may be the most important line in the entire document. And it's this, quote, the point of contact should be a government employee or military service member, a GS-15 pay band equivalent, or the military equivalent, end quote. Now, a GS-15 government employee, in case you don't know, is at the top. It's at the top. If you're a civilian employee working for the government, you get a GS number. GS 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Okay. GS-15, that's the top. That's the head of a division. That's running things. And you have all of the employees down below you. And my stepmother growing up, she was she was like a GS2. But we talked about these numbers all the time, you know, and yeah, he's a GS10, he's a 9, she's a 7, he's an 11, right? And I don't think I ever met a GS15. That's like, well, for a civilian, it's the equivalent grade, a GS15 of a colonel, of a captain in the military. The DOD Inspector General, as I said before, is not playing around. The office only wants to hear from the commanding officers, the directors of divisions at the DOD, and the Pentagon. It's crazy. And finally, what about this line that says quote, the military criminal investigative organizations. Criminal investigation? For what? This is very, very interesting. Why would there be a criminal investigation about UAPs? Unless, right? Could somebody have been flying drones and not letting other branches of the military, know what's going on? Freaking everybody out? Causing alerts and distress and crew members rushing out on the decks of ships to record stuff? Could it be that? Could this go all the way back to the Tic Tac? How about the Roosevelt? I'm just saying, I don't know. There's so much speculation flying around right now. And a lot of what was done in this memorandum is boilerplate. It's been released in other memorandums. The stuff that I just quoted to you tonight was exclusive to this memorandum. Of course, the UAPs and the criminal investigative organizations for the military. What is going on? I can tell you this much. Quite a few people have some serious explaining to do. And the best answer, right, to get you out of this mess right now, just maybe, it's just like, hey, it wasn't us. It wasn't me, man. It wasn't my fault. It was little green men. I'm just saying. This is very, very interesting. Very interesting. Right in front of the month of May. And also, I'm just throwing this out there. Again, all speculation. And I made a bunch of phone calls today to those in the know. And everybody said the same thing. It was like, man, we don't know. We don't know. We're working on it. We're trying to get some more information. We're trying to figure out what's going on. So when I find out, you're going to find out. But would this investigation push back the release of the UAP Task Force report in June? Well, we'll see if this evaluation does get done in the month of May, and if this is part of the UAP Task Force and everything else that is going on. Very interesting. I'm just saying, seriously, it's a crazy time. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Billy Carson is here. He is back. We've got lots of stuff to talk about tonight, so you guys stay right there. Tomorrow night, Tim McMillan of The Debrief joins us for the first time. And Thursday night, Linda Moulton Howe joins us. We're going to be talking about all of this late-breaking news and all of our reporting that is going down right now over on Earth Files. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. You can follow me on Twitter right now at JChurchRadio. I'll be right back with our guest, Billy Carson. Stay with me.
This is Nicole Church, daughter of you-know-who, and you're listening to Fade to Black on JimmyChurchRadio.com and the Game Changer Network.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
Introducing the Game Changer blend from River Moon Coffee that delivers a customized blend made specifically for the Fadernauts. If the game is rigged, change the game. It's a bolder cup with some bite. Game Changer is the coffee of choice for those that prefer an organic dark roast that is slightly lighter and milder, but it's still dark. With wild notes of pecans and chocolate with a rich, balanced, full-bodied cup that is roasted to perfection for a great coffee to start your day, as an after-dinner coffee or anywhere in between. Artisan, small batch roasted to perfection. USDA certified organic, all River Moon coffee is freshly roasted and packaged in the USA. Just go to rivermooncoffee.com or click on the banners over on our site and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. rivermooncoffee.com.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact. KGRAradio.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can get our podcast for just $2 per month. All you have to do is click on the podcast banner over at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, folks. It's troubling times, and fear is pushing emotions, which in turn pushes health the wrong direction. Do you ever get an ache because life is uneasy? Try Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. Life Change Tea works on your digestive tract, helping to move food through quicker and comfortably so your health is spot on. Life Change Tea may not help with world issues, but it will help with your digestive issues. A glass a day helps keep the intruders away. So, change your life today. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. If your health game is off, get on by ordering Life Change Tea. Getthetea.com. And while you're on our site, look around at the great non-GMO organic supplements. And if you're a sales shopper, go to our specials page and see what's for you. I've been drinking the tea for 12 years and I'm sure glad for its health benefits. Again, that's getthetea.com. Getthetea.com. The tea that makes you go.
Fadernauts, when you think about the future of our country and where we're headed, do you wonder about the food supply? I do. Disruptions in the food supply chain could be disastrous, and they usually occur with little warning. That's why the smartest thing you can do today is to stockpile emergency food, water, and other essentials. I personally recommend My Patriot Supply. They're the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, serving millions of customers for more than a decade. In fact, they're the only source my family trusts for our preparedness plan. You should too. Right now, save 20% off a full 4-week supply of delicious meals that provide 2,000 calories a day. Saving 20% helps too, doesn't it? Especially now. So go to preparewithjimmy.com and get ready. That's preparewithjimmy.com. There's no time to lose. Do it now.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the planet.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Billy Carson is here. Tomorrow night, Tim McMillan from Germany. And then Thursday night, Linda Moulton Howe. What a great week last night. Sarah Adams. Just an insanely great week here on Fade to Black. And tonight's show is dedicated to my old friend, Dan Hicks. And there you go. I hope I don't have to say that kind of stuff again for a very long time. Tonight, Billy Carson is here. We've got a great conversation lined up, but we've also got a couple of really big announcements and other news that is exclusive only here on Fade to Black, and I can't wait to get to it. Billy is the founder of 4Bidden Knowledge, the author of the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, and woke doesn't mean broke. I actually wrote the foreword to both of those books, by the way, an honor and a privilege for me. He's also the host of Deep Space over on Gaia. And Carson's 4Bidden Knowledge has millions of followers and subscribers throughout social media. And, of course, he is the founder of 4Bidden Knowledge, Inc. And I am just going to get straight to it. Billy, both of your websites, forbiddenknowledge.com and forbiddenknowledge.tv, are right there at jimmychurchradio.com. I wanted to ask you, it's good to see you again.
Yes. Same here, man. Good to see you.
It's good to see you. We talk almost every single day, right?
Yeah.
But we don't get a chance to do shows that often, and
right.
It's kind of funny when I say we talk every day. I want the audience to know. I think Billy and I talk every single day, don't we?
Absolutely, we sure do, man. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. Plus, we're friends, so we just kind of have some good chatter that I think we really talk to each other to uplift each other and keep each other motivated.
That's part of it. And then I just want to know what's the secret stuff, And I need material for the show, Billy. But we talk every day, and you and I know about these announcements that we're about to make. And I actually want to do all of them in this first segment and just get them out of the way because we've got so much more to talk about for the rest of the show. But first things first, coming up June 6th through the 12th, you're going to be with us over at UFO MegaCon in Laughlin, Nevada.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, finally an in-person event, and we're going to be able to hang out. What are you going to be speaking about at the UFO MegaCon?
I'm going to talk about some of the new anomalies discovered on the Perseverance rover. Never before seen anomalies that I've taken out of these official images.
Right.
And I'm going to talk about how they are correlating or linking back to ancient advanced civilizations that most likely had the capability of interplanetary travel, maybe potentially even intergalactic travel as well.
I am convinced with the high-res images that are coming back, NASA gets first crack at them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we've got Ingenuity, flying and taking images too as well. Over at NASA, they're like, whoa. Mm-hmm. They can't see that one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But stuff is going to slip through the cracks. And there are a lot of smart people out there that are looking at these images, like yourself, very closely for anomalies and things that are going to be there. I looked. Yeah. Do you think that there will be an announcement from NASA about previous life on Mars?
Yeah, within the next 4 to 5 years, because this Perseverance rover has a specific type of science kit to detect life. And so the life that they're going to detect is going to be in the soil. And within the next 4 to 5 years, during the mission of this Perseverance rover, they will announce alien life. And that's going to be in the form of bacteria or a virus, or maybe a combination of both. But they will announce actual alien life, and it's going to be, microscopic, unfortunately. But at least it's a step in the right direction.
I'm wondering, and I'm almost making a joke of this, but they're going to be out there shoveling, they're going to be moving some stuff around, and they're going to uncover like a Coke can. You know what I mean?
Funny.
Yeah,
it's funny because I found something that looks like a bottle of a Coca-Cola bottle. I don't know what it is, but it just looks like one.
I'm not. I joke about it. But it's going to be something crazy, right? It's going to be something nuts, and I think it's going to happen. It's going to happen soon. Now, I'm going to save the best for last, but the next announcement, which I think is absolutely crazy, and I want to say congratulations to you.
Thank you.
But you're about to go public.
Yeah, so we're going it's a 36-month process. Right now we're in the pre-IPO phase. And in the pre-IPO, you can actually move shares to the general public. So we have 1 billion shares in Forbidden Knowledge TV. And so we made 5 million shares available for a public offering. And that starts actually in about 2 weeks. And so they're $1 a share based on the valuation. So the valuation came back at $10 million. And so we're going to give people the opportunity to not only watch Conscious TV on our platform, but actually be a part owner in Conscious TV and get paid dividends on the TV channel network that they actually like to watch and share with friends and family. It's going to be amazing.
So you're gonna gift me some shares for the forwards to the books that I wrote for you. That's cool.
It's already done.
That's already.
It's already done.
I mean,
man.
You know how crazy this is. Did you ever have an idea I mean, the things that you have built and the network and everything that you've got going on and the books and everything. Did you ever think that you would be at a point where you would announce that you are pre-IPO and you are selling common shares? Isn't that just phenomenal?
It's phenomenal. It's mind-boggling. I always knew that I would get to the Billy Club, is what I call it. I just didn't know the exact route or the exact vehicle, that would get me there. But I had a strong belief, in it. I mean, right now I walk around with a check in my wallet for $1 billion, made out to myself. And so its deadline to be cashed is by October of 2026. So this check that I walk around with everywhere I go is just another part of the manifestation process. But more importantly, by getting to the Billy Club, the biggest thing about it is not that because I'm in the Billy Club, which is because it gives me the capability of really reaching out and doing global projects, buying, 200 acres of land, building small private cities and, that have farmland and people can grow their own food there. I mean, there's a lot of big initiatives that I want to push forward, and I can't do that if I don't have any money. And so these types of opportunities where I help people and then I get paid for it, and in a big way, allowed me to continue to expand with the technology company that we have, which is the laboratory is going to crack ground in about 4 months, and all these other big initiatives that I want to put together. So I'm pretty excited. It's amazing. And we have our own cryptocurrency coming out as well. The Forbidden coins coming out in 60 days.
So 2026, I know who I'm hanging out with for the next.
You got to hang out with
I know who I'm hanging out with Billy. But this is all because what you have done, and I have been on the outside looking in for quite a while. You've built all of this for the community. And ForbiddenKnowledge.tv, that is an amazing platform. And if anybody hasn't gone over there and checked it out to see what is actually there, your mind's going to be blown. You need to go over and see what we're talking about. Forbidden Knowledge TV is a huge achievement. And people talk about things like this, Billy, but you go out and get it done.
Yeah. I just, I came to the realization about 6 years ago when I was talking about a lot of the problems in the world and spreading the information and kind of becoming popular for exposing things and just talking about UFOs and Mars and all these things. But a lot of the things that I would talk about seem to be problems, citizen problems for the average citizen that they, how do we solve these problems right now? And one of the things obviously is people complaining about what's on the radio. I don't want my kids listening to this. The music is bad. Let me make my own music. Started doing my own music. Then it just turned into, the social media platforms are starting to suppress and things like that. I mean, make my own social media platform. That platform is growing in leaps and bounds and doubling every week. And we got a lot of famous people getting on there now as well, which is great. And then, even, different video platforms I created my own and now the Forbidden Knowledge TV. TV's, has a lot of bad stuff on it, or stuff that doesn't really enlighten us. People would want to go somewhere where they can actually learn something and let their kids watch it too from an early age. So Forbidden Knowledge TV, just the next logical step. And, what I kept saying was I've been talking about these issues and problems. Well, where are the solutions going to come from? So I decided to become a solutions provider. Technology, people are complaining about that. Now I have a tech company, First Class Space. And so it's all about how can we bring solutions, and we talk about them all the time. We talk about the problems a lot. Okay, where's the solutions coming from? Somebody has to start bringing solutions. So I decided, let one of the people bringing them be me.
Well, it's one thing to talk. I'm no one to say that because that's all I do, right, is talk. But it's one thing to talk and have great ideas, and I have so many friends that have great ideas, but they don't get stuff done. You need to, if you're going to talk, go and get it done. Yeah. And that's exactly, how do you manage your time? Where does the time management come in? I've watched you, I've watched you write books. I've seen them start and go to completion. I've been there for that ride. We're doing a movie project together. I've watched that come to fruition. It's real. Forbidden Knowledge TV, which I've been a part of that since it was an idea. Right. And But how do you manage your time?
Well, it's I don't sleep a lot. I mean, I just did a 16-hour day in the studio, as you know.
Billy, by the way, I'm not going to say where Billy is or what he's doing. He's at an undisclosed location. But yesterday and today, he's been filming a TV series. He shot like 4 episodes yesterday, or 3, 4 today. You're going to shoot 3 tomorrow. Yeah. And then you're back on a plane and you head back home. And it's just, it's crazy. How do you manage your time?
It's tough. I mean, the thing is with me, fortunately, I can survive on 4 hours of sleep. So 4 hours of sleep, I can actually function, high function on 4 hours. And then I've learned to get some help. So on some of my social media, I've got, 10 to 15 admins on the Facebook groups. There's a lot of groups there. And then on the my son manages 61 of my social media accounts between Facebook, United 99, and Instagram. And then I manage the rest. And then I've got another couple of people that help me with a few other parts of the the creation of the content and things like that, and the memes or whatever. And so I've got a little bit of a team going now. I got somebody help me with logistics and the shipping. I got a shipping facility now and all that. So that all helped out. And then it's just a matter of really, I just have this sheet every single day with this list, and I prioritize what's most important on that list. I literally just chip away at it every single day. And I figure as long as I keep chipping away at these topics or these agendas, eventually they're going to start moving forward. And little by little, I just see them moving. And so I've been fortunate enough to be able to have the energy, because all this stuff takes energy, to put the energy behind the conscious thought to bring them to fruition. People talk about writing, but I have so many people talk. I've been trying to write a book for years and I just can't even get started. What do you tell? What should I do? I say, just turn off your phone, turn your computer off, tell everybody don't call me for 3 or 4 weeks, close down your house, only use Uber Eats, and write the book. There's no other way to get around it.
And the next announcement is a project that you and I have been putting together now for a couple of months. We are now ready to announce it, and we will do that now, which is, man, should I enjoy this or should I let you announce it?
Okay. I mean, listen, however you want to do it. I could do it. You can do it.
I want to hear you say it.
Okay. Well, we are going to have the Forbidden Disclosure Conference, the first annual Forbidden Disclosure Conference. And that's going to include the best of the best, Jimmy Church's best of the best. And that's going to be Richard Dolan, Linda Moten Howe, Nick Pope, myself, Jimmy Church. It's going to be one of these events you're going to remember this event for a while, because we're going to release, each one of us is going to release information that's never been talked about, new topics, new information on the controversial UFOs, the disclosure issues, all the different things that we like to talk about, but a new and improved version of the information, especially like some of the stuff that I'm bringing to the table. It's going to be stuff that I've been just hoarding, kind of sitting on. I'm going to save that for the Forbidden Disclosure Conference. Things that are going to absolutely blow your mind in reference to disclosure, what's out there, what new evidences have been discovered, how it links to different civilizations, where mankind is going, who are our cousins out there. I'm going to go deep, and I'm going to bring, as I always do, the facts to back it up, or at least the references to the facts. I call it circumstantial evidence based off of what's been left here for us to research and get our hands on, in collusion with a lot of the technological data feeds that we get from the European Space Agency, NASA, Caltech, and all those other places, the Russian Space Agency, and so forth. So I'm excited about it. I know that Richard Dolan always brings his A game. Linda Moten Howe always brings her A game. And so it's going to be an amazing conference, an amazing workshop, 10 hours. We're going to do 10 hours, and it's going to, for less than $40 per speaker, you're not going to be able to find a deal like this anywhere. Anywhere.
This is all going down July 17th. Saturday, everybody. We will, throughout, probably in about a week, we'll have everything up for everybody to go and check it out. But we're going to do 10 hours. So it's 2 hours of Linda, the best of the best, 2 hours of Nick Pope, the best of the best, 2 hours of Richard Dolan, the best of the best, 2 hours of Billy Carson, the best of the best. I'm going to speak for 2 hours. We're going to have 10 straight hours. And then at the conclusion of 10 hours of the best, we're going to have a 1-hour roundtable with the 5 of us, a little bit of a wrap up, but another way to have a conversation between the 5 of us, and to have the 5 of us together at one place at one time is extraordinary. This is the thing, Billy. In speaking with everybody about this concept and about putting this together, the excitement, right? The excitement. This is a big deal, and to get the 5 of us together for 10 hours, it's going to be just the best fun ever for everybody attending, but also for us.
Right, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. You can attend from anywhere in the world because it'll be through a Zoom link that you'll be able to log in through Eventbrite, and we'll have all that set up for you, like Jimmy said, probably in about a week. Before you'd have to go to a conference, you got to get on the airplane, you got to pay for the ticket, pay for the Uber or the rent-a-car, pay for the meals every day, pay $300-400 a night for the hotel. Before you know it, you're about $5,000 into it if you go with a spouse. If not, if you're by yourself, maybe $2,500 in, and then you don't get a replay. At least with this, you're going to be able to get access to this amazing conference with all these great speakers, and you're going to be able to watch it over and over again for free, because it will be on a private link that you'll be able to log in with the same email you use on Eventbrite. You'll be able to watch it unlimited for free on Forbidden Knowledge TV under the pay-per-view section, except your login won't cost you any money. And so you'll have all the unlimited replays. You don't have to worry about taking notes like crazy. I see people when I'm talking on stage, they're taking notes. And then while I'm talking, they're still writing what I said 2 paragraphs ago. And so they're missing the point of the whole thing. In this situation, you don't have to worry about scrambling to take notes, because you're going to be able to go back and get access to the replays. And the replays will be broken up into bite-sized tidbits, probably 1 hour, sessions, so that you can actually watch an hour at a time. And if you get the Forbidden Knowledge TV app, which is free, you can actually download these videos into your phone and open them up in Forbidden Knowledge TV app and play them, even if on an airplane with no signal, no Wi-Fi, out in the wilderness somewhere with no Wi-Fi, you can still get access to the content.
It's going to be incredible. I am so looking forward to this, and I just want everybody to know that Billy and I, and everybody, all of us, Nick and Richard and Linda, in putting this together, we wanted just the best of the best, not only with who was speaking, but with the information. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, the 2 hours of your A++ game, bring it. And that's what we're going to do. And we're just all excited about the opportunity to do it this way. 1 day, 10 hours, let's go. It's go time. It's going to be great, Billy.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I'm chomping at the bit to release this information that I have. I think the world's going to be very pleased with the content, and they can watch it sit comfortably in their couch, and then and then watch it on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, whatever, and they'll have an opportunity to have friends and family members come over and watch it as well.
Now we're going to be heading to a break here in a couple of minutes. I wanted to ask you, as I set up the rest of the evening, is this the craziest time in the history of the world for the subject of UFOs? I mean, this has just been insane for myself and the community and everybody else on this planet. Yeah, it's we're really coming, to a peak here. I mean, with this activity. There's a lot of UFOs that are, they're calling them UAPs, but I think a lot of them are identified. We actually know what they are, because I think they're ours, some of them, and some of them aren't ours. I think there's a combination of both. Activities on a heightened state, and it seems as the COVID lockdowns, I don't know if I can even say that word, but as these particular lockdowns have happened around the planet, that the activity has increased. Not only by what I think is a military-industrial complex vehicles, but also I think the vehicles from other civilizations as well visiting us. What do you think is ultimately going on here with the media coverage? Of course, the government, the Department of Defense, and we have science and their search for, and we just talked about Perseverance and Mars.
Yeah.
And the search for exoplanets and alien life.
Yeah.
It seems that the UFO subject right now is being pushed. It's being pushed by all forms of media.
Yeah, it's being pushed heavy because it's been told to be pushed, because we're running out of reasons to have wars. And the people on this planet are waking up to the fact that these wars that they've been sending their children to were absolutely useless. And all they did was generate trillions of dollars for people in $10,000 suits. And so now, because the war machine is slowly coming to a halt, it's now we have to move this money still, and we got to generate new money. We got to get these weapons into space. We have to have a new enemy to go after. That's why every report is saying that these things are harassing our ships now. They're not harassing our ships, that they're a threat to national security. I don't think they're a threat to national security whatsoever, in my opinion. If anything, and they've helped us save ourselves by shutting the nukes down, 20 years ago, just letting us know, like, hey guys, don't play with us. Though you think we can control everything on your planet whenever we want. And so I really do believe that there is no real alien threat, because they're so technologically more advanced than us that if they wanted us to disappear, they wouldn't come with laser beam guns and all this kind of stuff. We'd be gone. We'd be gone, and we wouldn't even know we were gone. They just drop something in the atmosphere, and within 24 hours, everybody on the planet is dead. They're too technologically advanced. They just drop a frequency on us, and we'd all pass out. So that theory that the military wants to play, in my opinion, is not real. I think they're just trying to create this enemy type of us against them thing, so that they can push more money into the Space Force and other space agendas, so they can say, oh, this is where the 20 trillion went. Now we can tell you where it went. We're putting it into defending the planet. But that generates a lot of private contract money for Northrop Grumman and all these other private companies that have contracts with the Pentagon. And and the thing is, I think the civilizations are watching this, and they're well aware of everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And we try to shoot these things down, and I think we've been successful a few times and captured a few of their vehicles, and they still haven't wiped us off the face of the planet. What does that tell you?
Yeah, Isaac Arthur said, before we head to the break, I want to share this with you. It was an absolute profound and funny statement. He goes, Jimmy, they don't need to release a biological weapon. They don't need to wipe us out with a virus. They don't need laser cannon. They don't need any of that. You know what they do? They fly at the earth at the speed of light. They let their garbage go, and they hit the brakes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we'd be gone. We'd be
gone.
Be
It's
gone.
over.
Be gone with garbage.
Garbage, exactly. Kinetic energy.
Kinetic energy.
Is powerful.
It was. He stopped me in my tracks with that.
Right.
You don't need laser cannons. Let's take our break right here. This is
right.
Fade to Black. Our guest tonight, the one and only Billy Carson. We've got lots to discuss. It's been a crazy week, a crazy month in the world of UFOs. All that and much more when we come back after this short break. You can follow Billy on Twitter at Forbidden Knowledge. He's right there. ForbiddenKnowledge.com, ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. The links are over at JimmyChurchRadio.com. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
This is Billy Carson with ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Forbidden Knowledge TV has just reached its 1-year anniversary. That's right, 1 year. And as a show of appreciation, we are giving all new subscribers a free 30-day trial of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. That's 30 days to binge watch thousands of movies, documentaries, conferences, workshops, lectures, yoga classes, meditation courses, and so much more. So log on to ForbiddenKnowledge.tv from your computer or mobile device, or get the Forbidden Knowledge TV app on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon, iTunes, or Google Play today, and use coupon code 30daysfree. That's coupon code 30 days free on ForbiddenKnowledge.tv today.
Listen, I know, and you know, that you've always wanted your first crystal skull. Or maybe you're a collector just like me, but you just don't know where to go to find the real thing. Then I met Carolyn Ford over at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. Carolyn is the guardian of Einstein, one of the most respected ancient crystal skulls in the world. All of her unique skulls have been imprinted sitting with Einstein in his sacred lodge and are carved from the finest gemstone and materials. Imprinting is the process of receiving the ancient wisdom from the master skull or master computer. Einstein, the ancient crystal skull. To see Carolyn's current collection of crystal skulls, just visit her store at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com or click on the banner over on our site. Don't forget to use the promo code Jimmy at checkout to receive 10% off of your order today. That's promo code Jimmy. Finding your first or next crystal skull is easy. Just visit EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of fade to black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today.
Hello, I'm Julian. You're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA digital broadcast station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And this is Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers. We're also Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can become an official Fadernaut by just going to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hello, this is Serena Wright Taylor from Conscious Life Expo, and you're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, who holds the Lucky Pony record for the best astrological chart since 1963. True story.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Billy Carson is here. Lots of stuff to talk about. We just did three huge announcements in the first segment, and I'm very excited about everything that is going down. But there's the other part with all of this, Billy, and the UFO subject, which is what you're actually filming right now. Again, we can't talk about it because that's coming out in the future, but the subjects that have gone down over the last few weeks with the media has been extraordinary, and then was capped off again today, which happened yesterday, actually, with the DOD Inspector General making their announcement that they're going to do an evaluation of the way the DOD has been acting with UAPs. This IG evaluation, when you took a look at that, what do you think that actually means?
There's obviously, to me, an agenda that's being played out, and so they're painting a picture to the world. When you see these kind of things start popping up, you have to start trying to realize, okay, what is the end game? What are they benefiting from making these kind of public statements? So you begin to realize that they want to paint a particular picture, and they're dropping seeds into our brains so that when they get to the picture completely painted, we're all in accordance with that picture. And so now they've changed the acronym to UAP, and so, it's just keep changing things, but I think it's still a UFO or either an IFO, identified flying object is what they are, but not all of them, some of them. But I know that we are trying to figure out, or the government is trying to figure out what some of these things are. Some of them, I believe they do know where they are, who they are, where they hail from. And the reason why is because, in my opinion, based off of just historical information, it seems as if we've been trying to shoot these things down with energy weapons for a very, very long time and have been successful. So if that's the case, they've been researching them. They've already captured some and reverse engineered some, in my opinion. We call them ARVs, alien reproduction vehicles. And so if that's the case, then it's well known what's going on with these things. And I think that they're painting a particular picture because it's going to be a big money move. There's going to be a huge move of a lot of taxpayer dollars into these undisclosed projects, these black budget projects, and it's all going to be blamed on the fact that we now need to ramp up our protection against an outside invader. I think that's what it's boiling down to, and they're just dropping the seeds and painting the picture. It's a type of disclosure in a very weird way, where they're going to say that aliens exist, and now we need all your money because we're going to have to take weapons out there into space, and we're going to have to be ready for a battle.
It seems to me, and I agree, I think that's a very, very good point, that they are painting a picture. And the picture that has been painted, certainly going back to December of 2017, is this fear narrative, and that our airspace has been invaded by UAPs at will. And now you can continue to talk about this. So this is out there in the media and the videos and the pilots and this testimony and the Nimitz and the Roosevelt. That's going to have a cumulative effect eventually. Yeah. And where the IG gets involved, and I think the question is being raised right now, what do you mean? What have you been doing about it, military? Have you been shooting at them? If this is, and if you haven't been shooting at them, why not? If this is Russian, if this is Chinese, what have you been doing about it? If it's from outer space, what have you been doing about it? It seems that the IG is very concerned because this conversation's been out there now, and you can enjoy it. You can have the TV shows, and you can do all of this stuff in TTSA, but then eventually it's going to catch the attention of people in the military that are going to want to know what is actually going on. And I think that this is what the IG is concerned about.
Yeah, it's possible. I think that, because everything is so compartmentalized and they don't get access to all the different clearances, and it doesn't matter even what level you are in terms of your rank. Your rank doesn't say what your clearance level is going to be. They have these agencies have a particular psych evaluation that they put on you without even having to talk to you, and they can tell if you're somebody that's going to go with their flow or not. So there could be somebody ranked lower than you that can have a higher clearance than you and get a particular compartmented piece of the information to some of these black budget projects, or to what's going on with this fighting UFOs, or are they UFOs, or are they ours, or whatever. And so I think it's there's a level of concern from the IG where, it's like, hey, what's happening here? How come I don't know enough about this? But that particular IG that may not be cleared to know enough about it. That he may not be on the need to know list. And unfortunately, the way that we greet everything that we don't know about is always with an attack. And so, if we chase these things, we try to shoot at them. I mean, that's not the right approach. But unfortunately, the mindset that we have, the level of consciousness that we have for the people making these calls to aggressively go after these things is a mindset that is the same mindset that's keeping mankind, from advancing further than what we are already. And so there's going to be people that are going to ask questions that are just not going to be able to get any answers. And if they look too deep, they're going to be told to shut up and sit down, and you don't have access to this information.
And I find it interesting if I'm like the IG, or if I'm a 3-star, 4-star in a branch of the military, and I see this, the flying pyramid video that surfaced was leaked a couple of weeks ago. My first question is, hey, did you guys shoot at this?
Right.
And if you didn't, why not? Mm-hmm. Somebody is going to be held responsible here. Or is it that you didn't shoot because you knew that it was ours, right? That it was United States Navy or Air Force drones, and that's why you didn't shoot, but yet you weren't aware of this and nobody notified you, and you guys are put on alert. Every alarm is going off with these missile cruisers that are off the coast of San Diego. Somebody's got some explaining to do, whether it's ET, whether it's ours, whether it's Russian. What actions were taken or were not taken, and who is responsible for this? These are huge questions, Billy.
Oh, they're huge. And I think that, when you fly by some battle cruisers, you're trying to make a statement. Now, if it's an ET, it's making a statement that, hey, guys, we're here and there's nothing you can do about it. And we see you and you see us. Or it could be one of ours from one of these black budget projects, and they're flying by saying, hey guys, we're showing off a little bit, and there's nothing you can do about it, and you don't even know who we are, what we are. You don't know what type of vehicle this is. It's just cool for us to get a buzz by, and if you shoot at us, you're not going to hit us. So we just don't know. I mean, it's all speculation, but it definitely raises a lot of questions because the alerts have gone off, and now what happens is they get a chance to pump the fear because, once a little bit of fear seeps in or once something unknown seeps in, they're going to pump it 24/7 and build it to a crescendo. And that fear frequency, in that crescendo of that fear frequency, they can mold us and bend us into anything that they want. They can make us do whatever we want. We can agree. We'll agree to whatever they want us to agree to, and we'll just fall right in line. And they know that. And so they may see this as a double opportunity. One, where they really don't know what's going on. Maybe they really don't understand how these things operate and what they really truly are. But, they're going to take advantage of the situation, pump it up, pump the fear, and get the money. It's really, let's funnel this money into a lot of these private corporations where the Freedom of Information Act doesn't work. And we're on the board of directors of these private corps, so we can collect all the money, So that's what they do.
Now, what is a bigger story? What is a bigger concern? ET harassing, or whatever, it's coming in with impunity, from interstellar travel outside of our star system. That's a pretty big story.
Yeah.
Is the other possibly bigger story is that these vehicles are ours. It's the United States Navy, and we made a big mistake, right? Is that a bigger story that our military doesn't know what it's doing?
I think it's a bigger story that the military, on one hand, doesn't know what the other hand's doing, and these undisclosed projects. And the reason why it's a bigger story is because the aliens coming from interstellar space and interacting and flying through our airspace. Okay, they got technology, they're advanced. But when you find out that it could be our stuff and it's our technology, but wait a minute, why am I still pumping gas at the gas station?
Right.
If we got this type of technology, Why are we still using fossil fuels and all this kind of stuff if we got this kind of tech? You guys need to disclose this technology to the public.
Right.
And so that's where it becomes a real big story. Like, oh man, we have this kind of tech and we're driving around on rubber tires. Get out of here. So I think the world would be, at least, in America, if they really found out what was going on, they'd be be an uproar basically. And it'd be like, hey, we want this for us. You guys are hoarding the tech.
Well, we had. I'm going to be gentle here. I'm going to be gentle, Billy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But we had Dr. Stephen Greer on the show 2 weeks ago, and we had him on I think on a Wednesday night, and then that Sunday he gave a live stream presentation with different presenters. He said on this show, Billy, this addresses what you just mentioned here. But he said on this show that, and on the live stream, that these drones are reverse engineered alien tech that we've had since Roswell, possibly even before. And that is what is going on. And the disclosure of that is probably the biggest story in history. Now, if it is disclosed, forced disclosure that this is actually what is going on, that our military is in possession of this technology. They figured it out. They figured it out a long time ago. Yeah. And most of these UFO reports and the things that we have been seeing in the skies going back 40, 50, 60, 70 years has largely been us.
Yeah.
That's a really big deal, and it's a pretty heavy accusation on Dr. Greer's part. Do you think that there's any evidence of this?
Well, the only thing I can go back to is looking at what the Germans were doing in the late 1930s. And in about 1939, they actually had a Haunebu test flight. One of the Haunebu, which is a UFO-based type of a technology that they had acquired and built, and it used a combination of anti-gravity and nuclear along with positioning thrusters. And they actually were able to get it off the ground. There's a famous video of this with this test flight, which only lasted about maybe less than a minute. But they developed that technology, and I know that through Project Paperclip, we brought over, I think it was close to 2,000 of the former Nazi scientists over to America. Some were scientists, some were in intelligence and things like that. So we brought them over. And that's when we saw a real spark or boom in our technology. Now, did they continue developing over here for us in some type of a black project? I believe possibly so. I think that also we had directed some different types of maybe energy weapons or advanced weaponry that the majority of the world doesn't know we have. Maybe something, scalar that took down some of these UFOs that came in our airspace, and then we captured those UFOs and reverse engineered them. And I think that those UFOs or whoever those civilizations are still visiting us on a consistent basis, even more now. And so it's a combination, in my opinion, of both. I just don't know how long ago we had this tech and how far back it goes. I do know that in former President Ronald Reagan's diary, which you can get at the Library of Congress, or you can get it from Amazon. In there, he wrote, "It is with his pleasure that we can now take 250 men and women into space in one vehicle." So I've never seen a ship that could take 250 into space. Have you?
No, I have not. And let me comment really quick. Paperclip and what we brought over here at the end of World War II is one thing. Russia did the exact same thing. They went into Germany. They grabbed everything that they could. They grabbed the same V-2 rockets. They grabbed as many scientists as they could grab and took all of that over to Moscow, into the then Soviet Union. Yeah. And it begs to question if we were doing the same thing. Certainly Russia was. And what information did Russia get from the Nazi regime and their scientists, and what did they develop, and what is in the skies right now that is comparable to what we could have engineered and reverse engineered too as well?
Right. Absolutely. That's another possibility because, they can be running their own top secret projects with no oversight and from any kind of UN or whatever. And all of a sudden they've got, look, they went to the moon with Sputnik before us, right? With the, the satellite. So there obviously is some type of a race or competition going on between the two countries, even though we're also working together and colluding together in space at the same exact time. It's such a weird relationship. But it's possible that they have taken some of those Nazi scientists and that technology and developed something extremely advanced. And so if maybe this could be, again, each of us beating on our chest, showing off our super advanced tech, every now and then bringing it out of the side of the mountain and showing off to the world and then taking it back to the mountain again. But still, what I noticed from a lot of these sightings, the ones that are more shaped like triangles, in my opinion, seem to be more like something that we can develop ourselves. And the ones that seem to be more like orbs or spheres or cigar shape, to me, seem more like intergalactic or interstellar type alien craft, or maybe even interplanetary if they don't have the ability to go that far. But so there seems to be a distinct style, either triangular or all of a sudden, the ones that we know, the classic UFOs. So I think that is a combination of both, but I wouldn't put anything beyond any of the governments of the world, and especially not even China, because they're always pushing heavy tech, and they're not afraid to experiment. They're not afraid to copyright information and things like that, and take trademarked or patented technologies, because they don't really have a patent law over there, so they can copy a lot of things and make a lot of copies, and they sell them, to the world as copies. We know that that's not even something that's hidden. Why wouldn't they be able to really push and make advanced spacecraft or craft that can fly in the air and also into space? I think it's all possible. Until we can get a world where we're all on the same accord, and it seems like the militaries of the world want to all push the agenda to be able to take weapons to turn space into a military zone, is what it seems like to me. I think that they could be done differently.
There is, I think this was at the end of one of Annie Jacobson's book. I think it was her Area 51 book. But at the end of the book, she writes in this chapter at the end, and she says that her information was that what crashed in Roswell was a flying saucer, but it was Russian.
Wow.
And it was like this, and I just remember how crazy that sounded at first. But then you just kind of have to think about what was going on back then, 1947. Everybody was rushing, no pun intended. Everybody was rushing for this knowledge and trying to get it together. And what was it, that Russia had and was able to put together, and then actually, flew it over the United States and it crashed.
Yeah.
But that kind of goes right in line with everything that we are saying right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember, this might have been maybe 8 years ago now, I think one of the Aurora projects, which was a black budget project out of the United States military, it actually had a crash. One of them was going subsonic speed somewhere up in the lower atmosphere of the Earth, and actually lost control and crashed. And so it wouldn't surprise me that it could be the same thing for Russia, who's also, again, in that race with us technologically for military supremacy, that they could develop a vehicle as well. And of course, these are all experimental vehicles, so it's very easy for them to crash, or either we take them down with some type of weapon, beam weapons and everything else we've got. So it's really interesting. This is a really interesting planet. We live on a planet where we've got over 3,000 nuclear bombs all pointed back at ourselves, and we don't even have an escape hatch. So, it's no wonder why, like some, the memes say the aliens don't talk to us. I mean, it's really, we're being observed. I think they're watching us, just like we watch animals in the wilderness. We go to the deserts, we go to the Serengeti, we go to Amazon forest,
right.
and then we alien abduct the animals by darting them and knocking them out. We put trackers underneath their skin, and then we release them back into their environment, but we've got cameras hidden all over the place, and we watch them develop and how they grow and how they interact with each other, and we learn through anthropology, we learn everything about them. And I think that's the same thing that's happening to us.
Why not? I mean, it makes perfect sense. If we discovered life on another planet, what are we going to do?
Right.
We're going to do exactly that. I mean, that's it. You always have to put, the mind of, what would we do?
Yeah.
What is it that, well, okay, it may not be exactly what an advanced civilization would do, but I guarantee you they went through what we are going through in their evolutionary process. Right?
Yep. And they're curious. They want to watch and see.
Of course. What would be more interesting than you and I talking on the radio?
Right, exactly.
I'm being very serious here. Now, I want to set up for what we're going to talk about next, which is the media. And the media right now, especially on Friday, we had two articles that came out, one in the New Yorker magazine, very influential publication, the New York Post, another very influential publication, and then later on, after those two articles released, Nick Pope went over and was on Tucker Carlson on Fox TV on Friday. So it was like UFO Friday, right? All of this stuff happening at the same time with major media organizations. You're a member of the media. What do you think is going on here? Is this something that is being done with intention? Is the CIA behind this? Is there another force in play?
Yeah, it's intent. It's done with intention. And the reason why we know it's done with intention is because, unfortunately, the media the mainstream media in this country, and really the mainstream media around the world, because they're all interlinked, are nothing more than regurgitators of what they're told to say. I mean, this has been proven many, many times. There's many videos, you've turned them into memes. Reporters all over the world saying the same reading the same script over and over again. And so they're told what to say. They're given the information that's supposedly the news of the day. And even their responses to this information are all canned responses. So there's an agenda behind the scenes. To what end is still a question mark. But this information is being pushed on purpose and heavy for a particular reason and agenda. And in the end, you always have to follow the money, in my opinion. And so when I go to follow the money, to me, it leads back to a huge fundraiser. They're raising money. They're getting ready to raise money. And now that we have the Space Force, all you have to do is say, this money is going to we're going to send this $20 trillion to the Space Force.
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't have to hide it anymore. You don't have to pretend like you don't know where the money went anymore. But we're going to generate the fear and say, we got to cut the Space Force a check for $20 trillion because we need to go ahead and ramp up, and we got to be prepared, and we got to build these new technologies and blah, 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 blah. I just think it's agenda based. I think that there really are UFOs that they can't track, or they're tracked, but they can't catch up to. They can't really analyze who they are, where they came from. And then, of course, again, our own. So it's just a combination of both. And so to cover their own tracks, they're going to spin the story. It's all about the spin. It's the PR campaign. How do we put it out there? How do we make it look? How do we get to the psyche of the people? How do we present it to them in a way that's going to stick in their brain? And what are they going to remember about how we say this? And right now, so far, it's all been like, it's a threat, it's a threat, it's a threat, it's a threat. And so everybody thinking it's a threat. And we're thinking, it's a threat. They're a threat to our military base. They're a threat to us. But in reality, we're still here.
And let's take our break right here. One of the interesting things was, Ratliff and his interview a couple of weeks ago where he said, we've been tracking these with our satellites.
Wow.
That was incredible. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Our guest tonight, Billy Carson. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church. You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Do you want to be an official Fadernaut? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com. This is Jimmy Church, and I'll be at the UFO MegaCon this June 6th through the 12th, 2021 in Laughlin, Nevada. The Laughlin UFO MegaCon is unique. It's 7 days of education and disclosure. It's unlike all other UFO conferences. The Laughlin UFO Mega Conference specializes in bringing you new people, offering new information and disclosure. All of this is offered at prices so low you can actually afford to be there. For instance, 7-night hotel packages, 1 or 2 people, start at just $320 inclusive. Education and disclosure is why the Laughlin UFO Mega Conference exists. Join us for all 7 days, or a half a week, or just a day or 2, but join us. Go to LaughlinUFOMegaConference.com. Register now. The only thing keeping you from being with all of us is you. Daily live streaming now available worldwide. It's this June 6th through the 12th. Just go to LaughlinUFOMegaConference.com. Fadernauts. When you think about the future of our country and where we're headed, do you wonder about the food supply? I do. Disruptions in the food supply chain could be disastrous, and they usually occur with little warning. That's why the smartest thing you can do today is to stockpile emergency food, water, and other essentials. I personally recommend My Patriot Supply. They're the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, serving millions of customers for more than a decade. In fact, they're the only source my family trusts for our preparedness plan. You should too. Right now, save 20% off a full 4-week supply of delicious meals that provide 2,000 calories a day. Saving 20% helps too, doesn't it? Especially now. So go to preparewithjimmy.com and get ready. That's preparewithjimmy.com. There's no time to lose. Do it now.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Our guest tonight, Billy Carson. More with Billy in just a second. I want to talk to you about Virtual Shield VPN. You know, our sponsors here at Fade to Black that keep this show on the air are very important. And Virtual Shield has been with us for a while. And I only use Virtual Shield VPN. And I can't stress this enough. How technical this studio is and how many computers are needed to run the show every single night. They all need to be protected. They are. Plus, I am seriously in a secret location. I don't want anybody to know where I am, and nobody can find me. This is important. I do it with Virtual Shield. Virtual Shield VPN. Everybody today needs their own virtual private network. Now, what is a VPN? Well, what's important is nobody knows your search traffic. Nobody knows your history. Everything is encrypted. That's what is most important. You don't want to be part of somebody that is on a list of a hack and things stolen and taken from you. That's part of it. The other part is annoying ads and things and your search traffic being sold to somebody else and to advertising. That's all important. The no logs policy, strict no logs policy with Virtual Shield, that's extraordinary. That's it. A strict no logs policy. Your search traffic is not logged. Number 2, encrypted servers all around the world. That's it. That's all you need to know. And it's easy. It's just right there. You just click on it. It's installed. It's done. You want to turn it off, turn it off. You want to turn it on, turn it on. It's easy. It's just one click away. All you have to do is click on the link in the video description box below. It'll take you straight to Virtual Shield. You can also punch it into your browser, virtualshield.com/fade to black. Do that, and you will get Virtual Shield VPN for 50% off today. They've got a great family plan, too, as well. Get everybody on Virtual Shield, all right? Get Virtual Shield VPN today. Our guest tonight, Billy Carson, and we're talking about the media before the break. I think the media bears some responsibility about what's going on right now, Billy. And on Friday, these 2 huge articles came out. And did you get a chance to check out the New Yorker's article?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
And what'd you think? It was like History 101 in a way. Very comprehensive, very complete, starting back around Roswell and all the way through to today. But what went through your mind as you read the article?
It seems like an educational piece to me, as if they're trying to get people brought up to speed on the history of the ufology, so they can understand what had happened in the past and what's happening now, what situations occurred and how they were dealt with. It's almost as if they're just trying to, it's like a basic education piece, just bringing in people who haven't been tapped into it, who haven't been listening to it, who thought it was just square talk, tinfoil hat talk. Now all of a sudden we want to educate you. So we're going to bring you up to speed with all the UFO information and content. And this article, amongst with others, have really ignited a lot of people that I know that weren't into any of this. I'm getting text messages now like crazy from people who completely were against all this information. Now they're sending me videos, they're sending me news articles and clippings. So it started to get into the general consciousness now of the planet. People are starting to pick up on this, and all of a sudden they're getting educated, and now they want to know, well, what's the next step? What's going to happen next? And I think they're just bringing people to the point where they're going to get them to, okay, now we've got everybody on the same page. Here's the next card we're going to draw. What that card is, I really don't know.
Well, and this is the New Yorker has always had and for good reason, kind of a highbrow magazine, right?
Yeah.
It's the educated, the Manhattanites, right?
Yeah.
It's a highbrow magazine for the intellectuals out there. And that's the way it has always been perceived. And to have an article like that in the New Yorker, who their readership is, what their foundation is based on, they are not up to speed on the UFO subject, right? No. And suddenly they see this. They may have seen something on Tucker Carlson or MSNBC or CNN, and maybe they saw a video pop up here and there. But are they with us? Do they know what Rendlesham is? No. Right?
No.
And so they go and they read this article knowing maybe they're watching C-SPAN and and they know a little bit about the politics of what is going on right now with the Pentagon and the Senate Intelligence Committee. Then, bam, you get this article, right?
Yeah.
And it is introducing the subject to a whole nother genre of society.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're talking about high society, people with a lot of money and a lot of influence and power. Influence and power. And so all of a sudden now, they're making phone calls and they're contacting people that also have influence and power. And so it's spreading like a virus, wildfire, like what's going on here? And again, so you got to say, man, this is like being done on purpose. This is targeted information. It's being directed. And I still can't figure out the total end of this, what the agenda is. But I think that it definitely is being pushed hard and heavy. And when you see an article like this in the New Yorker, it's like, okay, wait a minute now. What's going on here? This is not your average daily read by the New Yorker.
No.
And so, you know, they really want people to know everything about these UFOs, what history we have about them to a certain extent, and where we are right now today with them is like what it's basically saying. And it's getting people really, really intrigued. I was just on a flight. The flight that I took to go, was it the flight here? I think it was a flight here, the flight coming in. And so the people, one row behind me, I guess they were going on some type of a hunting expedition because all they were talking about was hunting. But one gentleman started talking about, did you hear about the UFOs? And I believe that the UFOs are real now because they're, you know, and he started saying they're getting them on radar and they're tracking them. And the military officers are saying they can't track them, they can't catch up to them and everything. And the other guy goes, well, you know, eventually have to come out because, you know, there's no way we could be the only life in the universe. And I'm listening to these people behind me and I'm going, wow, we came a long way.
Right. And what I find interesting about Friday was like a three-pronged attack because you said it right, high society, right? The New Yorker and that readership. And then underneath that, you've got the New York Post.
Right.
Now, going back to the New Yorker, this is something else that was interesting. I liked the angle that they took here because they focused on Leslie Kean. Leslie, from, you know, New Yorker, right? Her family was in politics. She was from another part of society, and everything that was about her life and what she did was, you know, with the social light, with the social side of things, and they could relate to the article. And here, one of their own, Leslie Kean, saw the light and is suddenly centered in the UFO subject, and these are the reasons why. Very clever way of writing the article. And then underneath that, you've got the New York Post. And that article, did you read that one?
Yeah, I read that one as well, yeah.
And now you have the working man, Lou Elizondo, featured in this article, right? The military career guy, the man's man, and his fight for the UFO subject, and ex-military. That article featured Lou in uniform, right? Which I had never seen these pictures before.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, right. Very interesting take on that with another focus. Another part of society in New York. Very interesting piece.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Again, Lou Elizondo, I think his name, Louis Elizondo. So he's the one that I saw first talking about this a few months back in terms of the Pentagon knowing about these UFOs. I think it was on CNN or one of these mainstream news networks he came out on. And now I see him every time I turn around. He's in every type of media. He's all over the place now. YouTube videos. He's talking on every news website now. He's on every news channel. He's like championing this. You know, I told him to go after these UFOs. I told him to check on these, you know, these UFOs, and so, or UAPs is what they're calling them. So, same thing. And it's really interesting because I'm trying to figure out like where'd this guy just pop up all of a sudden, and he's just like he's out here, and he's you know. He has the credentials, obviously. Is he, you know, the question mark, was he planted to come out here and paint this picture for us? Or is he truly really trying to expose this to the world and talk about what his struggles were with trying to get the military to to look into these things. I don't know.
Right. And you, as somebody from the outside looking in at Lou, and your take right there is a brilliant one, because Lou came from counterintelligence. That's what he did. He was out there doing disinformation with foreign governments and adversaries around the world. That was his job. Cool, great, fantastic, and that's well, I shouldn't say it's actually cool, but that was his job.
Yeah.
And now Lou coming out with TTSA 3 years ago, 4 years ago, into the UFO community, does a TV series on History Channel.
Yeah.
And you raise the right question. Is he an instrument that is spreading information and disinformation into the UFO community, or is he the genuine article? And I have, that's fighting for us. Yeah. And I think the jury's still out with that.
Right. Me too.
You gotta let time pass.
Right.
Trust and verify, right?
Yeah, basically,
Trust and verify. But that's very interesting that you have that observation.
Yeah.
There are many in the UFO community right now, Billy, that it's I keep saying it over and over again, but it's that cognitive dissonance where you've got blinders on, you've got Lou here, you've got everything that's going on, and you don't want to listen to anybody else. You don't want to listen to any evidence or any theories or any ideas. You've got blinders on. And that's for Lou, that's a very effective tool with the UFO community. If you can do that, because then, but maybe he is to be trusted. I don't know. Yeah. I just don't know how to feel about Lou. I had him on the show.
Okay.
Last 2 months ago, I think, maybe 3 months ago, and it was a very interesting conversation.
Wow.
It was very interesting. I don't know. I wasn't convinced either way. Right.
Okay.
I wasn't convinced either way. I came away from the interview, Billy, with more questions than answers, and I was hoping for the opposite.
Right. Yeah, the information that he's put out to me is still kind of ambiguous, to be honest with you. It really doesn't nail down anything, doesn't really give any solution or any end result that ever happened. No, if nothing really evidence-wise official that can be other than a radar video that I've seen. I mean, what else is there? So it's really interesting to see how much and the fact that he's allowed to be that high up in what he was doing and now being able to come out with this information. I'm just curious to see how long it goes, where it goes, how far it develops. Eventually, sometimes time will tell, what the situation is. And I'm not talking against him. I don't know him. I'm just being very cautious, because obviously in the UFO community, we all want to see UFOs. And we all want to see the aliens, right? Because we're ready for the next phase. And so sometimes that mindset and that thirst for that thing to happen, this disclosure to happen, could put you in a vulnerable position to where you're open to anybody who's got a little bit of credentials here or there and starts talking about it. You can fall prey to that, and they can twist it, or they can have an alternative agenda, and you just would never know. And I'm not saying that he does. I just don't know. I'm just going to continue to watch and observe from afar and just see how things, pan out. But it's just really interesting. Like you say, you have the upper echelon, the New Yorker, and then you have the New York Post. You have mainstream media. They're pushing it on every single level. I mean, even kids are talking about this stuff now. So
yeah, it's out there.
It's out there, man. It's a mass awakening in terms of at least the awareness of the UFOs or the UAPs, what they want to call them now. At the end of the day, what's the end game here? Why now? So
yeah,
I'm curious.
There was the 3-prong attack on Friday. With the New Yorker, then the New York Post, and then Tucker Carlson, Fox TV, our friend Nick Pope, right? He's right there to comment on these two articles and what all of this means. And of course, with the UAP Task Force report that is coming out now, when you have that all day long on a Friday, just one thing after another.
Yeah.
What do you think ultimately is going on? For Tucker to turn around and continue the message on late night television that night.
I know that Tucker seems to he goes on the fringe. I've watched him a few times. And he talked about aliens. He talked about UFOs before. So this is probably one of the topics he's heavily interested in, anyway. And because he's been given a green light to talk about these controversial topics on air, I'm pretty sure he was chomping at the bit to be able to hop in and, get somebody on there to interview and have a conversation with. Because he seems like somebody who wants to talk about this all the time if he could, but there's not a lot of people to talk to this about, especially, in what he's doing for a living. So I think he just took advantage of the opportunity to talk about it. They let him talk about it because that's part of his job. I don't think there was I could be wrong, but there may not have been any particular agenda using him to talk about it. But just the fact that he likes these types of topics, for whatever reason, he's always asking about aliens and UFOs.
Now, what did you think about? And this is something that has kind of been lost in the conversation lately. But the New York Post article called Lou Elizondo a whistleblower. That's a pretty interesting twist in this tale.
A whistleblower.
Right? Yeah.
Wow.
And
that's right. Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Yeah. And so ultimately, what is the message? They didn't call Lou a whistleblower 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Now all of a sudden he's a whistleblower. Whistleblowers are, here to reveal normally something criminal, something that some a company or a group of individuals broke the law. They are aware of it, and you achieve whistleblower status. Your identity is protected. There are certain things that protect you from repercussions and stuff. To suddenly identify Lou as a whistleblower is a pretty interesting change. Would you consider Lou a whistleblower?
For them to make that statement is kind of interesting because when you're running, if it is a clandestine black budget or unacknowledged type of a project, then it would be constitutionally illegal. And so in that case, calling him a whistleblower could give him a level of credibility.
Right.
Or they could be calling him a whistleblower to just give him a level of credibility as somebody who can continue to go out there and push the agenda or talk about the topic. Or, somebody just got slick with the pen and put whistleblower as a catchphrase to make you want to read the in the article. Either way, if we consistently begin to see this title, then that's the title that he had been given. But then I want to hear more. I mean, there's not enough so far. There hasn't been enough to make me say whistleblower. It's just somebody who said, "Hey, we knew about the UFOs, and we did nothing about it." I don't know how many times you can say the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, and you're right about. Well, each one of those points. If you are going to suddenly fall under the whistleblower umbrella and everything that encompasses that, the image, the implications, and you're falling under whistleblower status, then the perception of the public is that you are revealing not only illegal activity, but stuff that needs to be known to the public. Right. And now you're a hero, right? And that's pretty interesting. Can you give yourself whistleblower status? Right? Can you?
I'm sure people have done it.
You can't, right? It's like you can't make yourself. You can't make yourself a knight. You can't give yourself your own nickname. So I don't think you can call yourself, I'm a whistleblower. No, you're not.
Right.
You have to be given that title. Who did it? Who
Right.
did it? Who suddenly, was that an editorial decision at the New York Post? Or is there something else going on where they would now want to have Lou identified as a whistleblower for the public?
Right, right. Yeah, it's really interesting. So he's not releasing anything that's top secret. So again, this is now well-known information and declassified information. So we're blowing a whistle. Usually the information has not been made public yet. Has not been declassified. So to use the term whistleblower may be kind of a strong title. When how many times can you just describe what happened and that we knew about it? And that's really about it. The speed of the objects and how they moved. I mean, we've all been talking about that for decades. No new surprise there. So it's really interesting. I got to sit back and watch and see how this pans out and how long you can continue to go from network to network saying the same exact thing over and over and over again, which is really basic information that everyone pretty much already knew. People who don't follow the UFO topic, it makes them raise an eyebrow and go, "Oh wow, they're talking about UFOs now," But once you see them 4 or 5 times and you hear the same exact story over and over again, there's not any new information. Snowden brought out, books worth of information. Some of these people bring out a lot of information that's not declassified, and then they got to go on the run. But this guy's going on tour, so I wouldn't call him a whistleblower. I think he's just describing what he learned about, what he saw, what he may have heard about or witnessed at a particular time. Other than that, whistleblower may be kind of a strong title.
I am sending this out to Lou right now. I'm asking him, "Hey Lou, do you consider yourself a whistleblower?"
Yeah.
And that's it. So let me tag this with that, and let me tag this. But I think it's an honest. I think it's an honest question. I think he can respect it. So there it goes. I just tweeted it out right now to Lou, and I stated it's simple. Lou, do you consider yourself a whistleblower as defined by the New York Post headline? We would love some clarification. I'm sure you understand the concern. Tagged Lou. Thanks. Boom. Fade to black. So yeah. Let's see.
See what he says. I mean, we're not attacking this man. I don't.
No,
even
not
know
at all. I mean, that's you know what? Even if I was, I would run from whistleblower classification. I wouldn't want anybody. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that hanging over my head. I just wouldn't. Yeah. No. It's it's an uncomfortable zone to go into. Let's take our break right here, Billy. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Our guest tonight, Billy Carson. So much to talk about. The news has been absolutely nuts. It's been a lot of fun, though. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. More with Billy after this short break. Stay with us.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station. Salt Lake City, Utah. Van Buren, Arkansas.
Why is it we're not very good with our health regimen until it's too late? We don't put oil in the car until the engine blows up. When the body's out of balance, your health is not so good. Give your body some love. Log on to GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Try our Life Change Tea, which cleanses you from harmful intruders. A clean colon is one of the ways to bring the body in balance. We also carry organic supplements to help you get where you need to go. So do your body a favor. Log on to GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. You can even visit our sales page to save some dough. Does anybody call money dough anymore? Anyway, if you're looking for short, helpful health tips, go to YouTube and punch in Health Matters Now. That's Health Matters Now. So, log on to getthetea.com, shop, get balanced, then learn some cool tips at Health Matters Now. You'll be glad you did. That's getthetea.com.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRAradio.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from Rivermoon. Just click on the Rivermoon Coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B Blend.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact. KGRAradio.com.
When you're in the house for longer periods of time, you can see them flying or running across the floor. Ooh, yuck. They're unhealthy, gross, and disgusting. Bugs. I loathe bugs. We keep a clean home, but occasionally bugs show up. Well, I found something that is tougher than bugs. Orange Guard. On contact, it kills hidden bugs, including ants, roaches, and fleas. Plus, Orange Guard is a residual repellent. All of the ingredients of Orange Guard are on the FDA generally recognized as safe list. Orange Guard may be used around food, humans, and pets. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Orange Guard, available at orangeguard.com, Whole Foods, and Ace Hardware.
Gold loves chaos, uncertainty, and disarray. History shows us what gold does when people aren't sure about the government, the stock market, their jobs, or their retirement savings. Our national debt is skyrocketing. Gold and other precious metals are a defense measure against inflation and a stock market that might take years to recover. So what can you do right now to protect yourself? Call United Gold Group. We offer gold and other precious metals delivered securely within 72 hours. Are you worried about the stock market? We can also help you set up a real gold or silver IRA or a 401k. Safe and secure. United Gold Group makes gold ownership affordable. Call now and get up to $2,500 in free gold or silver with a qualified IRA. Call 800-753-8534. That's 800-753-8534 or visit unitedgoldgroup.com.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Our guest tonight, Billy Carson. Oh, Billy. Billy Carson. And tomorrow night, right here, Tim McMillan of The Debrief is going to be joining us from Germany. And then Thursday night, it's Linda Moulton Howe. And we're going to be discussing all of these crazy headlines. We'll be doing that tomorrow night with Tim. Certainly tonight with Billy, too, as well. And now, Billy, this is, and going back to absorb this thought for a second. Mm-hmm. Going back to the New Yorker, New York Post, Tucker Carlson, and the rest of the media that has been dealing with these issues for the last 3 or 4 years in a very direct sense. Mm-hmm. The community out there, like with the high society of the New Yorker, to them, this is new. Yeah. Right? This is something new. This is something that is current. The Nimitz in 2004 and the Roosevelt and the Tic Tac and flying pyramids and flying toasters in 2019. All of that stuff. But this is new. But if E.T. is visiting us, which they are, they've been doing it for a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
A billion years. Maybe longer. right?
Yeah.
This is a beautiful planet. This is something that anybody would want to come and check out. This is not a new subject. When the UAP task force does their report, for the Senate Intelligence Committee, they're going to be talking about modern things. They're not going to be talking about Atlantis or the Anunnaki or Sumerian text, are they?
Yeah, no. They're going to be talking about modern, new technology, technology that may appear to be 100, 200, maybe 300 years ahead of what we have now or we know of now in terms of the general population. And there was one statement that came, I don't know how many months back it was, but that they were in possession of vehicles not of this world.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you hear a statement like that, then you go, okay, well, wait a minute, what does that mean? Now, all of a sudden, all these accounts of reverse engineered alien craft start to make a lot of sense, or start to become very believable. If now all of a sudden they're saying that they're in possession of these craft, and how do you get these type of craft? An advanced race, spacefaring race, doesn't go through interstellar space to make it all the way to Earth to just crash. I think they're a little bit better than that. So if they came down, that means potentially, in my opinion, something took them down. And so I think that there's an agenda where they are literally, waiting for these things to come into airspace, and they just attack them with some type of beam weapons, or I think something that they've discovered can disrupt their navigation systems, and they bring these things down. I don't think they bring them down with missiles and guns like we see on TV. I think they're bringing them down with lasers and other types of high frequency weaponry. And then once they crash, they take them, they confiscate them, put them in these underground bunkers, these DUMBs, deep underground bases, and they start taking them apart. And that's where we get Velcro and fiber optics and microchips and all this other kind of stuff. It all comes from all this discovery of these craft that we've unfortunately crashed and killed the occupants, in my opinion.
Now, it wasn't always like this. And I think about civilizations in the past, not only recent civilizations like Egypt, ancient Sumer, Mesopotamia, and all around the world, Central and South America and North America and Asia, but that back then, and even if going back 100,000 years, 200,000 years, 300,000 years, where you weren't getting shot at, right?
Yeah.
And the population of the planet back then welcomed these visitors. They didn't know, and this was a good thing, and they were curious on both sides. What was going on. So there wasn't anything to fear. If we went to another planet right now and they were at the stage of, cavemen and women and say Neanderthal, whatever, we're not going to get shot at.
No.
Right? So that's a safe zone to go into. That had to have been the way it was before we had modern weaponry. It was a fun place to visit.
You just made a fantastic point that I try to explain to people. They say, well, why aren't they showing themselves now? But they used to supposedly do it in the past. Well, think about it. What you just said, they're not going to get attacked. The worst they can get is a bow and arrow, a stick. I mean,
a rock.
A rock. You know what I mean? Come on. What are you going to do? Throw chicken bones or something? So there was no real threat. And so, of course, they can come down. They can walk around. They're going to be worshipped as gods because, any civilization that, is significantly more advanced than another one technologically, we already know what's going to happen. They're going to deify them. They're going to automatically think that they're some type of gods. And so that's what happened. So they kind of masqueraded as gods, the majority of them. They used that power to control and manipulate the people on the planet. And they, in some cases, maybe not. In some cases, maybe they were nice and beautiful and teaching and everything else. I think there's a combination of both. If you read the text, you'll see both sides, yin and yang. But however, long story short, now we're all about murder and killing and attacking. It's a military. This planet is a military machine. And so now they've got to come in. They've got to use cloaking devices. They've got to wear cloak outfits probably that they could be standing right next to you, probably wouldn't know. They got to zip in and zip out real quick. They got to observe from afar. They don't really interact directly in person anymore. They're not just going to walk up to you on the street. I think that it's because they're going to get attacked. You know, you look at some of the NASA footage from the STS missions and you see what looked like directed beam weapons coming at objects that were coming into our airspace, you know, coming into planet Earth's atmosphere. This is undeniable evidence that there's something going on, and we've been well aware that these craft were out there, and we've been trying to attack them and bring them down. And so now they're being very, very cautious. And until we change our ways and stop from this warring nature and this attack nature, I don't think we're going to see them just land ships and walk out in front of us.
But that doesn't, I wanted to stay on how long they have been visiting us.
Oh, it's been a long time. When you go back to the Enuma Elish.
Well, when you go through these texts, which you have done and you have written about, when you go through these texts, how easy for you to make the changes in your own mindset, where you go from religious, that angle to, you know what, this is probably just ET visiting us. How easy is it for you to make that change?
Oh, it's very, very easy, because if you look at, for example, the Enuma Elish and the 7 Tablets of Creation and the Atrahasis epic, the Atrahasis epic, if you want to pronounce it that way, those two texts, first of all, the Enuma Elish is more than 10,000 years old. The latest copy is around 10,000 years old. And then there's one other copy found around 6,000 years old. But the text itself was recopied from other texts that go back over 100,000 years. Mm-hmm. Same thing with the Atrahasis. And the reason why I bring these up is because in the modern day Bible, you were talking about the Old Testament now. The Old Testament came from the Atrahasis and the Enuma Elish and the 7 Tablets of Creation, separating the waters from the waters, the whole story of how this planet came to be and everything else, which is in a short version is in the Bible, but the exact same words and phrases. It was copied from these cuneiform tablets. And then if you look at the Egyptian Book of the Dead, which predates also biblical text by thousands of years, you find that a lot of this stuff in the Egyptian Book of the Dead has made it into the Old Testament, Proverbs, and even some of it into the New Testament as well. The Mahabharata, the Code of Hammurabi. I'm talking about texts that predates. And all these texts talk about beings coming down to this planet and engaging mankind in some way, shape, or form. The Book of Enoch. This is a book that literally talks about people coming from the sky down to earth. They weren't humans. They clearly were not humans, and they engaged mankind and taught us how to make weapons and go to battle. So these stories are abound. And so when you look at it from the eye or the standpoint of analyzing the ancient texts, and then you go into where we are now, and you look at some of the more modern religious texts, you realize, wow, this whole thing the whole entire time, in my opinion, has been talking about beings coming from another place and engaging mankind.
And why do you think the Senate Intelligence Committee, I'm not putting words in their mouth just yet, but they are hearing from the military. They're hearing from one point of view, the military side. They're not hearing from religious scholars. They're not hearing from other historians. They're not hearing from civilian eyewitnesses. They're not looking at any of the historical data. They are purely looking at this from a military standpoint. Shouldn't they speak to others like myself or you?
Yeah, they should, but we're not going to put any money. We're not going to help generate the money for the war engine. That's why we're irrelevant. If we were going to generate revenue, if talking to us would help generate money, then we'd be talked to right away. But since we don't bring any money to the table, we're like, okay, dismiss these guys. Where's the money? If we talk over here, okay, well, how much of this can we get? How can we put ourselves in the middle of this? How can I put myself on the board of one of these corporations? How can I be one of the advisors? Just put me on the payroll, man, and I'll make this thing go right through. So
is it that obvious? Is it that obvious?
Yeah, it's that obvious, man. It's really, I mean, everything you think. You drive through your city, you see palm trees lining your streets, right? Somebody lobbied for that, and somebody put themselves right in the middle of that deal so they can get paid some commission on those trees, and they probably made a cool $3-4 million getting the trees into your city. It's always about the money. Unfortunately, until we switch to a type of society that's not based off of capitalism, but that's based off of, how good you are at what you do, and what type of resources you can bring, we're going to see this problem over and over and over again.
So the hearings kick off for the UAP task force. Mm-hmm. And if the Navy comes at them and the DOD, the DIA, tells the Senate Intelligence Committee, actually, we have nothing to fear, right?
Yeah, right.
They haven't done anything to us. They haven't shot at us. They haven't really done anything. Mm-hmm. The hearing would end.
It would end,
right?
But it's not going to happen.
Right. There's no reason for it, is there?
No. But so if you go back to Christopher Columbus's captain's log, UFOs coming out of the water, right?
Right.
You go back to Copernicus. You go back to all these different scholars and astronomers, and you start finding out they saw UFOs on the moon. They saw UFOs in the sky. The UFOs have been recorded in ancient documents. There's cave paintings of UFOs and aliens engaging mankind. This is going on for many eons, and now all of a sudden, it's a threat to national security. So it's the war mind. It's just the war mind that we have, the warring mentality, which I think we got from the Anunnaki. I think that because they battled each other like crazy. That's what the book of Deuteronomy is all about. Those are Anunnaki fighting each other, using human beings as the war machine, just like we still do right now today. And so I really do believe that we're in a situation where, unfortunately, a lot of this is money driven. It's like, okay, we got to crank this war machine back up somehow. We can't keep blowing up kids in Iraq on school buses. We can't keep blowing up hospitals over there and getting the support of the people. So we need to move to another way to keep this war machine generating revenue. And the next big one, multi-trillion-dollar move, is space. So we're gonna, we have the X-33B, which takes off for 2 years and goes into space 2 years at a time. The X-33B, it's a space shuttle that we still operate. It's a cargo ship. It lifts off from Earth, and it's documented and told when it's going to take off because they got to clear airspace. And it comes back 2 years later. They don't tell you where it's went. That part's top secret. What is a cargo ship doing, taking off and going into space for 2 years at a time? I think it's just, I believe breakaway civilizations exist. I believe, I believe that they want to take the military into space and take the military even to Mars.
Are we setting, there's so much talk right now, and it's like where there's smoke, there's fire. There's so much talk about this fake alien invasion. And the suggestion of it is a giant holographic projected, Independence Day ship coming in.
Yeah.
Or is it something much more simpler than that? Again, where there's smoke, there's fire. There may be a genuine setup for this with the fear and the threat narrative that's being played out right now, where maybe there is an attack on a ship out in the middle of the ocean. There's no witnesses to it. There isn't anything. Nobody, but we're being set up for something like that, and it may become a reality. I'm afraid of something like this happening.
I know. I mean, Gulf of Tonkin incident, right?
Sure.
Gulf of Tonkin. I mean, there you go. Now we got the Vietnam War, right? How long did that last? Off of a lie.
Right.
And now my uncle's dying from the cancer from the Agent Orange that he sprayed on the Vietnamese. His whole battalion has these weird cancers. Most of them are already gone. He's only got probably a month to live. And the United States denies the whole thing in terms of the Agent Orange giving him this cancer. Everybody in his whole battalion is almost gone. So it's just crazy. It's all about these lies. And all of a sudden now, here you go. We bring down one of our top secret, Aurora Project TR-3Bs, and we shoot at a ship. Maybe we don't blow it up, but we threaten it in a way that makes it feel like, oh, we've got a threat from outer space, potentially. And we're just hypothesizing here. We're not saying this is going to happen. And now all of a sudden we've got the whole world up in arms, and everybody wants to do whatever it takes to arm the machine. with whatever it needs to take weapons wherever they need to take them, and take all of our money, put our money wherever you want to put it. Just, keep the aliens away type thing.
It seems more of a reality, the fake alien invasion. And I don't think it's going to be, the alien invasion like Independence Day or Mars attacks. It's not what I'm referring to here, because that's too easy to, somebody's going to go out and start shooting at, a hologram ship and find out that it's a fake projection. That's not going to fly. That's not going to last. But if you did something else, right? A ship out at sea, there's no witnesses, but this is what you report. Now you've got something that's actionable.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
It's whenever I see a movie, with terrorists in it and they succeed, some Bill Clancy or whatever, whatever, and I think to myself, well, you're just giving them a great idea, right?
Yeah, I know.
You're telling them how to go and do it, right? And so by suggesting something like this live on the air. I don't know who's listening, but I don't want to give somebody an idea. Right? But I am sure that if you're going to do it, this has already been discussed. It's just too simple to do.
It's too simple. It's too easy. Just like Gulf of Tonkin was too easy. Make up a lie, start a war, and generate trillions of dollars at the expense of millions of good men that were just following orders. And so that's the problem with this war machine. Everyone is expendable except for the people in the $10,000 suits. They keep getting richer and their families keep getting richer at the expense of the civilians on the planet and people who join the military industrial complexes to think that they're serving something for the greater good. But in reality, they're just making businessmen very, very wealthy. And so, you fly one of these top secret craft, you shoot at a Marine ship, and the next thing you know, that makes all the news. Oh, we've been attacked. These things are not coming here with laser beam guns and all this kind of stuff. But people wouldn't believe that because the movies have programmed us to believe that they'll come here with weapons, like they see in the movies, and not come here with really advanced technology. Like I said, a frequency weapon that can just take everybody out at once. I mean, the level of technology that you need to travel through interstellar space and still be alive and be able to function. You don't do that to just come out with a couple of ping 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 guns and shoot at some people in a boat. So their technology for attacking, if they need to defend themselves, would be far superior than what we have here. But a lot of people have been programmed from the movie, so they're going to think it's real,
right?
And they're going to give full support.
I know many are expecting, but I don't think disclosure is going to come in the form of a UAP task force report. No. I just don't see it happening that way, but yet this conversation is happening everywhere right now. People are expecting it, and I feel like something's about to bust out. I just don't know how it's going to happen. Do you think we're there? Do you think that disclosure is right around the corner? And if you do, what form is it going to take, Billy?
Well, I think that the type of disclosure is going to be, unfortunately, the one that twists the existence of life outside of Earth into a negative force that's against us. So we're already taking it. They're already taking it and turning it into this same movie theme that if it's alien, it's evil. And it's coming to attack us and it's coming to kill us. So we got to be prepared for them. That's the mindset that they're putting into the people with all these articles, like making it all military and the Pentagon. And it's always, it's a threat and with the national security and all this kind of crazy stuff. So they're already programming us to be fearful and that anything coming from outside is going to be a threat. So as soon as they announce that they're real, we're going to be ready to give them all of our freedoms and everything else to make sure they can keep us safe on this planet and take all of our money. So they will make a disclosure about aliens, but in a way that unites us in fear, which is a low frequency vibration, and not in unity and love and acceptance, unfortunately. So we got to put information out like this show and many other shows, and we got to talk to people, and we got to do conferences and make people aware of what potentially might happen, so that we don't fall for the okie doke. We keep falling for the okie doke every single time you turn around. We, meaning the citizens of the earth, we let 100 people control everything we hear, feel, see, taste, smell. We got them fighting. They got us fighting each other. They got us thinking this one's better than that one and all this other kind of crazy stuff. And they just sit back like fat cats and keep reeling in the dough and writhing on the power. So at some point, we get enough mass consciousness, I think, that understands the potential of life existing, and also the fact that, unfortunately, our governments have not been that straightforward with us over the centuries. And we should probably be able to make our own decision. And if there is some type of a attack that happens, how do we address the questions? Where is the evidence? How do we finally say, listen, I know you guys said this happened, but what kind of proof can you give us that's palatable? How can we access this information? I don't want to hear it's top secret. I don't want redacted documents. We need to see video coverage from a satellite. We need to see all the stuff you got before we say we're in agreement with you going in this war level. We need to make sure that we're not going to be out here letting you guys attack aliens on our behalf. And then maybe somebody says, you know what, let's just eradicate them from the planet for real. You never know. It could be a press of a button and we can all be gone.
Fight the power, man.
That's right.
Fight the power. Billy, that was strong, and that's a great way to close out this conversation tonight. I want you to have a safe flight back tomorrow. Oh, you're going to do some more taping, but then have a safe trip home. I wanted to say this. I saw the video a couple of months ago. Billy was on the show 3 months ago, and he announced that he was giving away a car.
Yeah.
And the car was cool. I wanted the car. I would have given up my Jeep. I'd have given up my other German metal for what you gave away. But I saw the video of the winner of the car who you picked up at the airport. Yeah. And how cool was that, man? Just giving away that car.
It was great, man, because I had talked about it for a while. I think people didn't believe me.
Right. I didn't.
You know? Yeah, right. Initially, I didn't even have the car yet. I just showing a photo of a car and telling this was the contest. And then finally, I went down and videotaped myself buying the car. And people were like, oh, maybe this is, And then I had the car in my possession. It was
you
a nice
took the car home. You put it in your driveway. Yeah.
Right. Put it in my driveway, filmed it and everything. And then when I did the random selection of the active subscribers for Forbidden Knowledge TV, and that name came up. And boom, I sent her an email because I only have their email address. I don't have their phone number in that part of the database. And she emailed me back with her phone number. I got her on the phone. I recorded that conversation, which is part of the video.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and I picked her up in the Rolls Royce. I flew her down from Atlanta to Florida, picked her up in the Rolls Royce with my driver, took her over to the house, let her get in the car, crank it up. She went crazy, gave her all the paperwork and everything else. And then I paid $1,000 to ship the car back to Atlanta and her ticket back to Atlanta so that she wouldn't have to drive the car, solo all the way back to
It was such an amazing video. And she's coming out of the airport and watching your driver come around and open up there. She was like, man, what is going on? I mean, I was just cracking up. It was just such an honest, heartfelt, tear at your heartstrings moment. And she was just amazing. She was just amazing.
She was.
And
she needed a car, which was the most.
That was the part, man. And it was just so cool. Just an amazing video. And
thank you.
Everybody should jump over to Billy's Facebook and watch that video, man. It was just, I got tears. That was just crazy. That was so cool. Billy, thank you for everything, my friend. We've got a lot of stuff that we are doing together. The Fadernauts, you, Forbidden Knowledge, and we've got a lot of things to get at and get busy. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your night.
All right, man.
You're the best, everyone. Billy. Thank you so much.
Right. Peace.
Billy Carson. Forbidden Knowledge. It's all easy. ForbiddenKnowledge.tv, ForbiddenKnowledge.com. Billy Carson. All of his social media. Go and follow, and certainly get over to ForbiddenKnowledge.tv, because right now it's their 1-year anniversary on the network. The network is huge. So much content over there, but I think they're 2 weeks in. You get 30 days free right now. Just go over and sign up over at ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. I'm going to take a quick break right here, and then I'm going to come back and take your phone calls. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. 747-228-2051. 747-228-2051. We don't have Fader Night this week. Tonight, right now, this last segment is your Fader Night. 747-228-2051. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll be right back.
You are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
This is Jimmy Church, and I'll be at the UFO MegaCon this June 6th through the 12th, 2021 in Laughlin, Nevada. The Laughlin UFO MegaCon is unique. It's 7 days of education and disclosure. It's unlike all other UFO conferences. The Laughlin UFO Mega Conference specializes in bringing you new people, offering new information and disclosure. All of this is offered at prices so low you can actually afford to be there. For instance, 7-night hotel packages, 1 or 2 people, start at just $320 inclusive. Education and disclosure is why the Laughlin UFO Mega Conference exists. Join us for all 7 days, or a half a week, or just a day or two, but join us. Go to LaughlinUFOMegaConference.com. Register now. The only thing keeping you from being with all of us is you. Daily live streaming now available worldwide. It's this June 6th through the 12th. Just go to LaughlinUFOMegaConference.com. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I take Life Change Tea supplements every single day. It's what I do. Click on their banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today.
This is Billy Carson with ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Forbidden Knowledge TV has just reached its 1-year anniversary. That's right, 1 year. And as a show of appreciation, we are giving all new subscribers a free 30-day trial of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. That's 30 days to binge watch thousands of movies, documentaries, conferences, workshops, lectures, yoga classes, meditation courses, and so much more. So log on to ForbiddenKnowledge.tv from your computer or mobile device, or get the Forbidden Knowledge TV app on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon, iTunes, or Google Play today, and use coupon code 30daysfree. That's coupon code 30 days free on ForbiddenKnowledge.tv today.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Billy Carson. Strong. That's a conversation right there. Billy Carson. ForbiddenKnowledge.tv, ForbiddenKnowledge.com. You can follow Billy right there on Twitter at Forbidden Knowledge, Instagram, Facebook. Everything is right there. Okay, and you can head over to ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Get registered right now, 30 days free. And but this is where I don't know if I want to take phone calls right now. This is where I want to go on a little bit of a soapbox. Let me explain something. Man, my cable is like too short and my microphone won't turn the way it's supposed to turn, and I don't like that. There we go. Okay. I'm going to get on a little bit of a soapbox. I want everybody to take a little bit of a knowledge walk with me. Okay, I'm going to get on the soapbox. You have to grasp a couple of things. When we are talking about ET and life out there, there are some things that you just need to understand. Okay, before there's skeptics and things and debunking and the way that they want to play this community. It doesn't work that way. And this is the facts. Okay, let me lay this out to you. You can go out. You want to know how big the universe is? Okay, think about our Milky Way for a second, where we've got 500 billion stars, probably more. 500 billion stars, 20 billion Earth-like planets, 20 billion Earth-like planets just in our Milky Way. Our Milky Way. Our galaxy. You want to know how many galaxies there are? Just wrap your head around this. You, any of you, anybody here, you walk out into your yard, take a penny, take a penny out of your pocket. Go out into your yard. Look up into the night sky. Look at all those stars. You're familiar. Look at all those stars. And anybody can go out at any point in the night sky, and when you look up, you can see between 2,000 and 5,000 stars. Okay? 2,000 and 5,000. Right there. Boom. Right in front of you. Go out into your yard amongst those 2,000 to 5,000 stars and hold up a penny. And I want you to look up at those stars and find a black spot where there's no stars. Hold up that penny, just like this. Hold up that penny. That spot with that penny, 150,000 galaxies. Right there. Now, move the penny over. Another 150,000 galaxies. Find another 150,000. Everywhere you put that penny is 150,000 galaxies. Go to the other side of the earth. Go to Australia. 150,000. Southern Hemisphere. 150. Everywhere. 150,000 galaxies. If you look at the Hubble, the deep imaging that they did with the Hubble satellite, it is one of the most incredible photographs ever taken, ever. So they go out and they take a shot, and we've all seen it. Take a shot of the universe, and you see all of these spirals, you see all of the galaxies, and they're everywhere. And then you realize, as they started to blow up this image, you realize as you're looking at this, everything that you're looking at there is not a star. It's a galaxy. Looks like the night sky in your backyard. It's not. You are looking at galaxies. So they go and they take, just like I just described to you, right? You going out into the night sky, 150,000 galaxies. So NASA goes and they take the image and they go to the most empty spot of all of these galaxies, right? Here's the image, and they take this little square right in the middle where there's nothing. It's black. And they expose that section for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 week long exposure. Then they took that and blew it up. And it was infinite galaxies. Just, it goes on forever. Forever. So, if you take that concept, just like I told you, 150,000 galaxies, right there with a penny. A penny. And each one of those galaxies has somewhere between 100 million stars, 500 million, 1 trillion stars. And you understand that there are 1 trillion of those. 1 trillion galaxies. So you have to stop and ask where every star has planets. Not some, not a few, every one. That includes the 500 million stars in our galaxy, and every galaxy that we can see. Every star has a planet. Every galaxy is the same. And it goes on forever. So if life on this planet, which seems to be unstoppable, we can't stop life here. We've had 6 mass extinction events here. And after each one, life blossomed. We cannot stop life on this planet. It has to be the same everywhere. Everywhere. That's it. There isn't another way to look at it. For a physicist or a scientist or anybody to come and go, you know what, man, Earth, we got the moon, and it's a very unique situation here, and that's it. Quite likely we're the only life. Here it's unique. There isn't anything else. It's it's the exact opposite. You show me proof of no life, because I can show you proof of life. I can show you not only on this planet, but it has to be everywhere. Chemistry is of such a simple nature. There is only so many particles. There's only so much chemistry and elements. That's it. They combine the same ways. That's it. Meteorites on Earth have been found with the simple sugars that make up, and amino acids that make up RNA. DNA, RNA. The very chemical that allows the communication of life has been delivered here on meteorites. It was brought to this planet from out in space. So you have to look at it that way. There isn't another way to look at it. So today, talking to Billy and the guest, of course, the audience, but that includes the Pentagon. That includes religious elements. This includes science and eyewitness testimony and everything else. Of course, E.T. is visiting. They have to be. There isn't another way to look at it. I firmly believe now. I didn't always have this frame of mind. I'm going to come back to the science in just a second. But this conversation about the size of the universe is as we grow up and become smarter, I think it's obvious to everybody that we're not alone. We can't be. And with the revelation that happened 4 years ago with the New York Times, and I'm out talking to people, I'm talking to friends and family and people that I've never talked to before about these subjects. Thank you for that, Gabriel. Just look at that image. That is just incredible. That is just incredible. He just posted the Hubble Deep Field, and you can go and look at it right now. Hashtag F2B in the sandbox. Thank you for doing that, Gabriel. Everything you see in that image is a galaxy. Those aren't stars, right? It's just incredible. That, when the conversation started 4 years ago, I think for the first time, people were pretty free to speak their mind about things where they normally wouldn't have crossed this line. And for me, I don't talk about this subject with everybody. People know what I do for a living. They know what I do for a job. They can see or hear me anywhere. Okay, they get that. But I don't have these conversations. And for me to suddenly talk with somebody that I've never had this subject brought up before, where they go, of course we're not alone. How could we be alone? There's no way that we're alone. The universe is just way too big. The Milky Way is just way too big. There's life everywhere. Of course we're not alone. I found that fascinating. And that's where we are today. When I say how we are growing up, I don't mean necessarily evolution. I'm just saying that we are growing up and we're becoming smarter. Every day we're smarter than we were the day before. And the realization today about the size of the universe and exoplanets and our Milky Way and these conversations that are going on right now, this is part of the reality for the average person out there. They have now knowledge today that we didn't have 20 years ago. They have knowledge today that we didn't have 25 years ago. Growing up for today, my generation, growing up in the 60s and the 70s, we didn't have any concept. At that point, we were still the only planet. That's it. We were the only planet. That's it. We didn't think about, and now today, the reality has hit us where now we are told that every star that you see in the night sky has a planet or 2 or 10, just like our sun and our star system here. That's what's going on everywhere. We understand today with the development of a solar system where you have a star and the gases get together and they compress and the gravity is there and it attracts the dust from space and then you have this ring of dust and the gravity and things are happening and the orbit of this dust and this dust cloud starts combining and the dust clumps together and the next thing you know, you have the formation of planets. This is happening every day. This is the normality of the universe. This isn't something exceptional, our solar system. This is what is everywhere. There is a very famous quote, and I hear it repeated all of the time now. But when this quote started, I grabbed onto it instantly. But it is such a heavy thought that, and the quote goes like this: You take a grain of sand. You go out onto your favorite beach, biggest beach that you can imagine that you grew up with, man, you're making sandcastles, biggest beach. You and your family, you're running out onto the waves. You go out to that beach and you look at all of the sand there and you pick up a handful of sand and then you get out one single grain of sand. And that is our sun. One single grain of sand. That is our sun. There are more stars in the universe than there are grains of sand on all of the beaches in all of the world. Every one of those grains of sand has a planet or two or three. More than all of the beaches, all of the sand in all of the world. How much life is out there? It's nearly infinite. And this is the soapbox that I need to be on. People need to understand the hugeness of everything that we are talking about. When we go to these numbers, I study this, I read this, I research this all day, every day, all night. This is what I do. And when you look at the numbers now, as crazy as they are, as huge as they are, the numbers are actually bigger and more infinite than everything that I've just expressed to you. The observable universe today, listen to what I am saying, is 95 billion light years across. Now, you say to yourself, well, wait a minute, Jimmy, the universe is only 13.8 billion years old. How can it be 95 light years across? It's two different things. The universe in 13.8 billion years has expanded to the point where it is now 95 billion light years across. It took 13.8 billion years to get to that point. 95 billion light years across. The universe is a big, big place. And here on Earth, we have traveled 5 minutes. Right? 8 minutes at the speed of light. That's how far we have. The universe is 95 billion light years across. We have traveled from here, and I'm talking about with Voyager and Pioneer 11, to the hour, whatever, how many minutes the speed of light takes to get to Pluto, right? That's it. From man, human beings traveling from Earth, we've traveled 2 minutes? 2 minutes from Earth. 2 minutes. The universe is 95 billion light years across. That's how big it is. And our solar system, if we look at it, our solar system is really big. Pluto is way out there. The Kuiper Belt is way out there. It's way out there. Our solar system is big. It is tiny. It's infinitesimally small compared to what the universe is. So, with the size of all of this, how much life has found us? Because we, today, this is the end of my diatribe, and I hope you guys are taking notes. Since 1995, in 1995, we found our first exoplanet. That was 1995. 1996, 2. 3. Bill Clinton went on David Letterman and said, "Hey, oh man, we found 5 exoplanets." Right? That was 25 years ago. Today, right now in the now, we have 5,000 cataloged, named exoplanets that we have found. We have another 5,000 that we have discovered We haven't named yet, and we haven't put in the catalog, but we have 10,000 exoplanets today that we have discovered in the last 25 years. That number is so big, if you stop and think about it, 10,000 in 20 years, you do the math, right? We are finding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 exoplanets per day. Right now, we have tests out there. We have the James Webb satellite. All they are doing is cataloging exoplanets. That's all they're doing. These numbers are spinning out of control. And that's where we are now. We are finding planets. Intelligent life out there is doing the exact same thing. Right now, we are able to now measure and detect what another planet's atmosphere is. You can't even see it, but we are able to do that. We are able to figure out what the atmosphere is on these exoplanets. That's one of the most exciting parts of science and technology today, that we are able to do that. If we can do that, somebody that's 100 years in front of us, 1,000 years in front of us, 1 billion years in front of us, they have been doing the exact same thing. And the discovery of Earth happened a long time ago. We are looking for another beautiful blue planet covered in water, full of oxygen and nitrogen and life. That's what we are doing. We've been sitting here and another civilization, or 10,000, have discovered Earth. And they discovered it a long time ago. It's purely a numbers game. That's it. There isn't another way to look at it. So when we're talking about life here and on this planet, and ET visiting us and being interested, that's what we're doing. That's what all of the advanced civilizations out there are doing, and they've known about us for a long time. When was the first visit here? I don't know, 1 million years ago, 2 million years ago. Earth is 4.5 billion years old. For 3.5 billion years, we've been kind of stabilized. For about 2 billion years, the atmosphere and the oceans kind of have settled in, and it starts to become a pretty attractive place. And microbial life and things started to stir up and happen here. So I would say that ET has been aware of us and wanting to come here and send probes here, come here and do a drive-by for probably 1 billion years. It's not since 1947. It's purely a numbers game. Take everything that I just said to you right now, take all of it, go and study it, go and research, go and look into it, because this is the reality today. And I believe that most on this planet that have the ability to think about these things and to contemplate these things now understand this. It's not a question of how, who, or when, it's just how much. All right? I'm off my soapbox. Everybody that called in. We'll deal with this later. There's no Fader night this week. I'll take calls tomorrow night. I need to get this stuff off my chest once in a while. I need to speak about this. I bring on guests, and we're talking, and we're doing the... I don't get a chance to talk about this enough. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Tomorrow night, right here, Tim McMillan of The Debris from Germany. It's going to be an amazing night tomorrow night. Everything is happening right now. I'm excited. It's fun. And this is what this show is all about. All right, now go research. Go look at the Hubble Deep Field. It's incredible. Thank you so much for that, Gabriel. I am your host, Jimmy Church. I want to thank Billy Carson for coming in tonight. Tomorrow night is, of course, Tim McMillan. Thursday night is Linda Moulton Howe. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Camarion. Show is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Kevin. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vito, and Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy. SpaceboyMusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and syndication is KGRA, The Planet. It's broadcast owned and copyrighted 2021 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network, Inc. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tomorrow night, Tim McMillan. Until then, everybody be safe. It's time to fade to black.